by sicking and participating and legitimizing the most crazed psychopaths on the internet.
I bring this to YouTube because I respect the H3 snark and I believe that they're being silenced. And I saw on the H3 snark that Ethan had uploaded Instagram stories about Mika's rhetoric that says,
and it's about the H3 Snark subreddit. For more than a year now, Ethan has been talking about it and saying how toxic this place is, how they promote harassment, doxing, stalking, and why it should be banned.
Because I believe these snark subreddits on Reddit should be banned. It's literally fostering the most psychopathic. It encourages harassment, doxing, stalking. It's just...
I guess it's fine as long as it's not the Destiny subreddit.
I think it's time to hold all of them accountable. Here, for example, is Denims, aka Hassan Waiting Room, watching Bad Empanada talk about the state of our house and how we take care of our kids. Let's take a look.
He lets his dogs shit all over his mansion, and he just leaves the shit on the floor, something that is probably related to the fact that his former housekeeper is suing him for a number of different reasons. So I would assume he doesn't actually have a housekeeper anymore, or perhaps he lost his extra housekeeper. So now the house is just like covered in dog.
I think it needs to become a societal norm to content nuke people and bad actors with just pure, immovable evidence. You'll get a lot of people to stop, empathizing with that person, because some people might be, driven that direction under one topic because they're angry and they're driven emotionally by it. But once they see what a bad actor they are, they'll leave away. But then you got people who, no matter what you say, they believe in the same things and the same actions and the same way of doing it. They're just on that side. They're a part of that side. Another level of empathy can get to them because they have already dug in and believe these things. So you're seeing a gathering of a lot of people in a echo chamber who are really on the same side, really hard, and they've learned how to utilize their people and move their people into different things and to garner support and grow and pull people in. But a lot of them, I think, are going to crash and burn over time, because I think when the average viewer either grows up a little bit because they might be hitting young audiences, or becomes more experienced in life, you're going to see the pendulum swing. And it's like, we got to stop supporting people who lie and manipulate, gaslight without any basis, because you can just say things, but it doesn't make it true. But if you can back yourself with facts and evidence and receipts, you're always going to have the stronger argument, and the other person's always going to look like an idiot. Don't put yourself in a position to look like an idiot. Try to always operate in that way with facts and logic. Let's move on.
Shit. And he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit, and God forbid, I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it or if it's just from like contact with it with their hands or something, but they contracted a parasite that I had previously never heard of in my life called Giardia from the dog shit that is all over his house.
Dude, how is it that like maybe once a week
Is it true? Like, I feel like she's blatantly saying that, like, I know this is bullshit. I bet most people aren't that dumb. They're like, yeah, I know it's bullshit, but man, my narrative, I'm running this narrative hard. I know the people who watch this, they're going to love what I'm about to say now. They don't care about the facts because they just want to see this person ruined. They want to see people we hate ruined. Fuck facts be damned. I'm going to say it too. Like my political thing, I said I was kind of like center, left, right on multiple topics. I think Trump's a narcissist, dumb piece of shit, right? I don't like him. But I'd rather get factual news about him, know he's actually doing, and then listen to some hit piece being like, Trump ate 12 cats, and oh my God, I can't believe he's doing it. He's such a horrible person. Like, if people are going to like try to slander someone, just like, he's done enough things, just use what he's just talked about the real things. Don't make up shit. I don't care if you're bad or good. Don't make up shit about stuff. It makes me immediately want to not hear what you're going to say, because I want to be accurate in my arguments. I want to be knowing in what is wrong with my opponent, so that when I argue, I don't look like a dumb piece of shit. And also, it's important. Another thing is to have a bit of humility. If you don't know something about something, don't pretend. Just be like, I don't know. I don't know nothing about it. Because there's nothing wrong with that. Because then when you come back with the knowledge, you don't have to look at a clip of yourself that are lying about some bullshit or pretending you know something. It's better to be like, I don't know. And then come back to it later when you do know something about it.
I look into what Ethan
look a lot
Klein's been
better.
up to, and every time I manage to find more and more terrible shit. This is where Ethan tells a story about his family getting
We
Giardia.
already have Mold Mondays. Now we have Shit Saturdays.
Also, this is not a joking matter, by the way. It can be very severe and deadly to small children. I mean, much like many other illnesses, it's very, very, very dangerous when infants get the same sicknesses that adults get. There are lots of things that you can get as an adult. You're totally fine. You'll be A-okay. No problem. A child, a small infant that has no immune system, shouldn't be.
Here's an important thing. In your peer circles and the people you like, don't be afraid to check them. I know some people are scared to make their friends angry or pissed or not like them, but if you feel strongly about something that they're not right about, feel free to try and check them. You don't gotta be rude about it. Be like, hey, dude, you're wrong about this. I don't like this. You know. It's if you get used to doing that, it's much healthier for society and yourself and your friend circles. Because in the end, they might learn something from it, or B, they might double down on their bullshit and become much worse, and they go more mask off towards you and show you how much they really don't give a shit about you. Then you don't need to be their friend. Your self-worth is better being around people who respect you, listen to you, and are willing to take a look at your perspective, even though they may not take it right away. But willing to hear you out and not like be, a shit stir right afterwards.
Catching anything.
Now, at this point, as he continues, notice the chat is almost in complete universal agreement. Call CPS. Call child endangerment. CPS, social services. Bro needs to unironically call CPS. That's child endangerment. Okay, if his kids have Giardia, they need to be taken away. Actual worst father ever, etc., etc. I'll let the chat play for you, but you can see just how crazed this community is. And once again, this is Denham's chat from the first. The call came on the 3rd.
No wonder his house is covered in dog shit, and his neglected children raised by nannies have contracted parasites previously unknown to science from the feces. I wonder why he skipped over all of this, because everything that I said in this story, which by the way was apparently compiled by his crew, playing.
No wonder this motherfucker is always sick. Yeah, it all makes sense now.
By the way, these people can't keep their talking points straight. On one hand, it's we don't raise our kids and our house is just run by nannies and housekeepers. But on the other hand, we also keep our house so dirty that there's dog shit everywhere. I mean, what are the housekeepers and nannies doing?
It all makes sense now.
It's you can call them out for days, and the people will see through it. Somebody will see through the shit. They don't care. They're just like, hey, I don't like this guy. Let's shit on him as much as we can. When you go to the point to take action to call CPS, you better damn have your fucking ducks in a row. Because you're going to look like a dumb piece of shit when you're calling them for false calls over and over and over, especially when you're a public figure on the internet. Man, you're asking for some bullshit after that. You made your own bed.
It makes sense why he doesn't care about Palestinian children when he is neglecting his own. How is this happening? How is it happening? How is this happening?
I have a 10-month-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-year-old who are in school. Of course I'm sick all the time. Once again, these childless people pretend.
Ever since I became a dad, and the school year started, especially the first year when we came back to a new area, the flu, the cold, different variants of shit, I was sick majority of the year. This year, oh my God, I'm like, that cold came about, I'm sick again, but I was sick for like a few days. I'm not like bedridden. And so like everything they bring home, the adults get. It's just how school is. It's a petri dish, unfortunately, and it's a nightmare when it comes to like, if a big sickness is spreading, it's because it's going to spread at school and you can't stop it, and it's going to come home to the parents all the time. Ethan's right about this.
That this is uncommon when, of course, anybody with any sense who's being honest, the thing is, these people are knowingly lying. They know that they're lying. It makes no sense what they're saying, but they do it anyway. Because, as you can see in the chat, and Denims endorses this clearly, as you can see, she's not moderating this at all. And it's pretty much 100% of the comments saying call CPS on them. Their kid should be taken away. That she believes that it's justified to break up our family. This disgusting fucking human being who's endorsed by Hassan and the entire left community on Twitch, who is protected and elevated by Twitch, is on her platform right now advocating for our children to be forcibly removed from us by Child Protective Services. Denims is such an evil person. She is not responsible enough to have a platform. She should not be allowed to broadcast videos ever again. Now you might wonder, what is it they're referring to? On the podcast, I was telling a story about we adopted a new dog about a month ago, and she was having diarrhea, which ended up being a extremely common stomach parasite that causes diarrhea. It's extremely common, and it's very easy to address. In fact, Ducky, our Yorkie, when we got him as a puppy, also had Giardia, and we treated him the same way. Let's see what I said about it. That Olive has Giardia, which is a bacterial infection in the intestines that makes you have diarrhea.
And Olive has this?
Olive has this, yeah. She came to us with it.
Okay.
She had diarrhea, and
oh, poor baby.
Ducky came to us with that too. So she has Giardia, so we have her on an antibiotic, but we had to wait until Monday, which is today. We just got it today. Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has Giardia. Again, any reasonable person or parent understands that having a 10-month-old that is just learning to crawl, is crawling around everywhere, putting everything in his mouth. I mean, these kids will literally just lick the floor, put anything in the world.
People are saying, like, why didn't you just watch your kid better and stuff like that? Sorry, my mic just reset. Anyone who has a kid that young is when they're crawling around, they're moving. Even if you're watching around, it takes a split second to their mouth. You know, you can leave them around calling a clean area that you think is clean. There's steps you can take to prevent stuff, but it's hard to you look away for a second. The kid's doing something. The bad actors are probably seeming like, oh, Ethan's just leaving their kid next to dog crap, and the kid picks up the dog crap and puts it in their mouth. Probably not the case. In the yard, there might be dog crap here and there, and the kid probably shouldn't be crawling in the grass. But most of the time, you're not going to catch your kid doing something like that. Or if you do, you've caught them 8 out of 10 times. They're going to be around, and like Giardia spreads really easily. It's on surfaces and stuff like that. It happens. When you have kids, you understand that you can't protect them from everything, but you can try your damnedest, and you're going to try hard. And, especially at that age, you can do a lot to try to keep them from putting things in their mouth, but they're going to put things in their mouth one way or another. If you have other kids too, the toddler brings over something to the 10-month-old, gives it to him, he puts it in his mouth. You got to catch that too. You got to catch them running everywhere, and being a parent is a full-time job. It's hard. Not making excuses. It's just, people aren't perfect. You can't catch every little thing that happens, but you're going to try your hardest to. It's just the fact of it.
In their mouth. And that's completely normal. That's what having a toddler is like. Olive is a black Labrador. She sheds a lot. She's inside. She's outside. She's very clean. But the point I'm making, again, which all reasonable people understand, is that Giardia can actually be spread just from a surface. So if her bum ends up on the floor, or she sheds some hair, or she sat on a toy, it could be a number of different things. If Sonny's crawling around putting everything in his mouth, it seems like a pretty reasonable suspect. If he's having diarrhea, we're like, oh man, maybe he got Giardia from Olive, which is actually commonplace to happen. And despite what Denim says, it is not certain death. It's actually completely normal to to happen, and it's very easy to treat. Now, spoiler alert, it actually turns out when we got all of the poop tests back that he never had Giardia even, which I announced on the show, which they conveniently forget.
This is a common tactic. When you're making a hate piece on someone, you leave out details on purpose. You want them to look bad as possible. You don't care about the truth. You don't care about the moral of it. It's like, this is my enemy. I'm destroying them. I'm ruining them. So let's leave out the important parts. Let's leave out context because I want my audience to be riled up. I want them to be angry. I want them to think this man's a piece of shit. You know, there's plenty of things Ethan has done throughout his career that are fucking stupid and annoying, right? Why don't you just call that out? The full piece of it. You don't need to make shit up. If you make shit up, you look like a dumbass. And then you ruin your own credibility. And the only people you keep in your community are shitheads. If you ever want to grow a community that's fucking amazing and sick and has people who actually care and morals and beliefs and stuff, you stick to your guts. You stick to your guns. You stick to your morals. It's basically what I'm trying to say.
So the only person that ever even had Giardia was Olive. So Sonny was having diarrhea essentially, and that's why they called CPS. Because my 10-month-old baby, who's just starting to eat solid food, had diarrhea. That's why these people think it's justified to send an agent of one of the most overworked, underfunded, underappreciated community service workers in the entire fucking world to come and waste their time because my son had a diarrhea. When in the city of Los Angeles, there are kids and families that absolutely need help from people like this, and this guy's wasting his fucking time coming to my house and doing an investigation on my kids because my 10-month-old baby had diarrhea. By the way, Bad Empanada was recently banned for 7 days for playing a video game in which you roleplay as Hamas on October 7th, and he went to a military compound in that game and said he was, quote, looking for secretaries to kill. He was looking for Ela, who was a secretary in the IDF, to murder her in a game where you play Hamas. This is the type of person that is being elevated.
I'd like to pay tribute to Ethan Klein and the new Twitch TOS that declares Zionism. Zion is the slur. I'd like to pay tribute to him by playing the first in Al-Aqsa video game where you kill Zionist soldiers as a Palestinian resistance fighter. Anyways, are these Israelis? They're just standing there? I mean,
this guy's gonna crash out, man. You know, hopefully this video helps with that, but not just my video, but Ethan's video. People like this crash out hard. The pendulum's gonna swing. I think things always get worse before they get better, and I feel like there's a lot of factors at play here when it comes to the way our society is, and the internet is still wholly new and popular thing in our generation as people. You know, it's an infant thing that's gonna grow and either turn into something amazing or absolutely horrible, because you never know who's going to control the internet one day, or if it's going to stay a free thing, or if it's going to be heavily regulated. But it's important, if you don't want governments to regulate these things, you have to have a strong moral basis of people who are willing to, check other people. The part of society that's important is being able to check crazy people with facts and to be able to have the receipts to convince people. And you can't convince everyone, because there are crazy people who just believe crazy things and will never believe you because they're already so far down the rabbit hole. But if you could do your best to prevent more people from sliding in that hole, it's better. We're at a point where we got to let strong morals and strong perspectives grow and be nourished, and keep a level of fairness in our society. Being able to listen to both sides, being able to criticize both sides, being able to have tough conversations. These are all very important things.
Is the Israeli army a bunch of Ethan Kleins? Like, they're all on a fucking Ozempic binge? They don't understand what's going on around them? They haven't noticed me? How do I win? What's my objective? I don't actually know. Where do they keep the secretaries? In here? I'm hunting for secretaries right now. Secretary Dot, on behalf of Ethan Klein, I give this game my seal of approval.
Here's Bad Empanada once again, who posted a story saying, "I'm the one who called CPS on Ethan Klein. I want CPS to take his kids away because they are seriously in danger." This is, once again, Bad Empanada, who's being elevated by Hassan, Matt Lieb, Denims, and tons of creators, leftist creators all over the...
People are extremely delusional, or they know what they're doing. It's both. He just wants to hurt Ethan. He doesn't like Ethan. He just wants to hurt him. It's simple as that. I don't believe that person is trying to do good. I get the vibe from looking at his actions is that he's a real shitster. It's simple.
The internet.
Ladies and gentlemen, everyone else, please welcome Bad Empanada.
Bad Empanada's been going crazy at Ethan on the second channel. Well, yeah, because Ethan Klein is too afraid to talk to Bad Empanada or talk about Bad Empanada or watch any of his videos. So fucking milk that guy, dude. Hell yeah, Bad Empanada, go in.
Can we just like
This dude, Bad Empanada, I don't know if you guys know who that is. He's like actually psychotic, and he's been making a lot of hate videos about me and calling Ela a terrorist and baby killer and all.
Dude, every time Ethan Klein brings up Bad Empanada, I like him a little bit more. That's the truth. I didn't really have strong opinions on him, and every time he brings him up, I'm like, stop making him sound base, man. Come on. Stop.
Bad Empanada has put out a video about H3H3, and this is just for my own pleasure that we're going to watch it, because whenever Bad Empanada attacks H3H3, H3H3 has like a mental breakdown, and every time I watch this, it causes them to have even more of a mental breakdown.
On this Turk versus moron, he made a fucking Willie Mack show. Slob YouTuber Willie Mack show made a video covering the Gaza genocide because he noticed that putting Hassan's name in the title gets him more views than usual. It went about as well as you'd expect. Oh, dude. Okay.
Willie Mack's doing great for himself. It's this delusional hate mongers out there trying to rip people apart.
Critical support to Bad Empanada has gone up by wide margins now. Okay. Oh, this is on the Bad Empanada live channel. He didn't put this on the normal channel. Oh, my Lord. Oh, dude. Bad Empanada went from bad to good Empanada. Bad Empanada went from Bad Empanada to based Empanada.
Now, trust me, I would pursue legal action against Bad Empanada, whose MO is essentially defamation. He actually fled to Argentina like his Nazi predecessors, and unfortunately, it is very difficult to get to and sue people in Argentina. So enjoy the community of Nazi refugees. You will fit right in there, my friend. But don't worry, guys. Denim says, even if this did happen, it's nothing to worry about because children actually don't remember anything. Isn't that fucking awesome? Look at this. It might be the dumbest, most pathetic thing I've ever heard in my life. Here's Denims.
On the floor. And then the part that, in my opinion, crossed the line was like, so I'm going to visit your kids at school and ask them questions. And I says, you're not fucking doing that.
No,
I mean, we both were like, that's not happening. You're not going.
Terrifying.
You are not doing that. So he agreed.
You know, even if they can't remember fully what happened at a certain age where recollection becomes a part of them, impacts and, you know, subconscious things will stick. If you're just going out of the way in general to harm someone and go after their kids and cause general stability that way, and you're low enough to target children like that, dude, that is some dark, twisted shit. And you're just human garbage at that point. There's nothing you can do to justify it. Stop abusing a system that's supposed to help people.
To come visit our house
next week
when the kids are at home because he needs to fucking interview our kids as a matter of procedure.
But I was like, I really don't want you to create any bad memory here for them. Like, they are 5 and 3. They don't understand this shit. So I told him,
create any bad memory for them. You're not forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very rare that you're...
I could tell you at 3 to 5, you're definitely forming memories. I remember things from when I was that young. Also, she goes on to say, like, oh, it might not even last there 15. It's like, dude, when you create trauma, trauma's lasting. It sticks. A lot of people are evident in this day and age that they have trauma that sticks them all the way through their adulthood.
You're forming memories at 5 years old. Nah, yes, you are. No, you're not. When we're talking about being able to remember, being able to recall memories, it's like 4 is the cutoff. But even if you are forming any memories at 4, you're not going to be able to remember them past like 15.
Speaking out of
you have maybe 1 or 2 memories. Talking to a random stranger once isn't really...
I'm a popular streamer, so, when I say things and I just kind of think they're right, I guess they're right because I have an audience that backs you up, and yeah, people don't really fight against it. When they do, I'm just like, ban. How dare you talk against my regime?
Memorable for a kid. There's a wide variation about the mean across methods, cohorts. The average age of adults' earliest memories is 3.5 years old.
I read fact, but not
You're not really forming memories at 3.
You literally just read out of your mouth that the average adult starts forming memories at 3. What is happening? What universe do we exist in where this is a popular creator? One more time, guys, because it's absolutely fucking unreal. One more time, guys.
There's a wide variation about the mean across methods, cohorts. The average age of adults' earliest memories is 3.5 years old. You're not really forming memories at 3. And it's pretty rare to be forming memories or like memories that you will keep like at 5.
How exactly am I supposed to get through to a person and convince her wrong when she's literally disproving herself on her own stream and then ignoring what just came out of her mouth 5 seconds earlier? Her defense for sending the CPS to break up our family and to interrogate our 3 and 5-year-old is that, don't worry, kids don't remember stuff, which just also, besides being pathetically, sociopathically insane not to care about the well-being of kids, just demonstrably false. Everybody knows that the most formative years of a child's life is around that age of 4, 5, 6, 7, when kids really take in their environment and develop who they become as people. Pretending as if interrogating my 3 and 5-year-old sons couldn't possibly cause any damage because they can't remember is the most insane, monstrous thing I could even imagine somebody to say about this. And it's just beyond being insanely dumb.
They just lost track of reality. Those people, they have a narrative they're following. They have a content they're farming. They in the end, they do not care about the morals of it. They care about the win they're gonna get out of it, how their audience looks at them. The fucking little updo wins they get.
It's just callous, pathetic, and really speaks for itself. It's the dumbest thing I think I have ever heard. Now, moving to Reddit, this whole theme of needing to call CPS on my kids is something that takes place on Reddit, originally from a subreddit called H3 Snark. On this subreddit, they have doxed us, harassed our employees, our Teddy Fresh employees who are not even related to the show, gone after crew members' parents, my parents, basically every conceivable way that you can be harassed, these people have done it. Actually, the subreddit was closed indeed. However, not by Reddit. According to Reddit, this subreddit is still fully open and operational and is committing breaking no rules. What actually happened is that somebody within their community started informing on them. And we have these screenshots, which I have not shown before, but I'll show them to you now. Here, one of the mods is talking about a person named Sturgeon, which is also a co-mod. And here they say, Adi explained to me that Sturgeon had made a fake post, the quote Ramadan post, and had become more and more unhinged. Here the mods are talking about another fellow moderator of theirs and actively covering up the fact that their mod faked a post on the H3 Snark subreddit. What happened was this story got picked up that we were banning people wishing a happy Ramadan. We were removing the posts and banning them. And this whole narrative of me being Islamophobic started to form on their subreddit and getting picked up by shit tier content creators who don't give a fuck about anything. And we looked through our mod mail. We searched through it to see, well, this post, was it ever made? Because that's certainly not something we would ever do. And sure enough, there's zero record of it. This thing. Here's an excerpt from the new Snark page. Violation of Reddit's content policy against harassing content. So it's harassing when it happens to Hassan Piker, but admins. Now that's Reddit community managers. We first went through them, an official channel, to say, hey, this Snark is out of control. They're harassing us all. They're definitely violating your site rules. Can you look into it? A day later, guess what? The Snark page was permanently closed. Hooray, we said. That was awesome. All we needed was one person to take a look at it, and obviously it wasn't compliant with the rules. Well, 3 days later, the Snark page was reinstated fully, and they made this post to celebrate. H3 mod announcement. We're back after a much needed break. We are just a group of volunteers and we appreciate your patience. Our relationship with Reddit is currently better than ever and we're in good communication with the admins. Now that to me stood out quite tremendously, considering that our subreddit with 600,000 users, the second biggest podcast subreddit on the entire site behind Joe Rogan, has never had contact with admins. They have never reached out to us. But why is it that the admins are in constant contact with this small niche subreddit?
I don't know go on Reddit enough to know what's really going on there, but it is definitely noticeable for Twitch that, you know, it's politically taken over, and I wouldn't be surprised if Reddit's the same way. It's one of those things is that they're gonna crash and burn. People are gonna stop supporting them, and there's gonna be either a new buyer of the company who's gonna take over and change directions, which could be good or bad. It could be a major pendulum swing to the opposite way. One thing that we desperately need is like platforms that aren't politically driven, that are just like, you know, a good bare bones rule listing that is enforced equally through everyone, so that people can still interact and let live. And then when heinous shit happens, they get hit by the rules, they get hit by the ban hammer, and not to pick and choose what rules you choose to enforce unequally between people, because that's what Reddit and Twitch does. You gotta have fairness. If you want platforms to work and succeed, you gotta have fairness. We're gonna play a bit more of this, but this is about the end of the video, and tell me what you guys think down below. I'm gonna start making more videos like this. I feel like I gotta put my opinion out there. I gotta do something to bring back an all level of common sense. It seems like a futile thing to do, because, you know, the world's not simple. There's every kind of person in the world. You have people who believe things so staunchly on so many different topics that you can convince some, you can convince others, but you can't convince everyone. And generally, people are stubborn. People need to people need to feel like they come up with the idea themselves to change. They can't be told to change. In most cases, they have to be guilted into it, I guess is what the left has done for so long. Or they have to feel like it fits their narrative, or they came up with it over time, you know? This is kind of how people work.
Dedicated to harassing people, but we, one of the biggest subreddits on the website, have not heard a single word for them ever. When someone created a Snark page dedicated to Hassan Piker, it was immediately deleted for harassment. Take a look. The subreddit was banned due to a violation of Reddit's content policy against harassing content. So it's harassing when it happens to Hassan Piker, but it's okay, great behavior when it happens to Ethan Klein. What's with the double standard? What about Trisha? Trishyland was a huge Snark subreddit. It was super active, and these people were, you know, really nasty. Trishyland was also banned. The reason given is this subreddit has been banned for excessive copyright removals. Now that's specifically interesting and extremely suspect, considering we've performed dozens of copyright strikes on the Snark subreddit. We have...
In the end, it's like, the realism is they don't care. They're not going to enforce it equally. You're not on their side, and you can call them out. You can tell people how blatant it is, but they're at the point where they don't care anymore, and they're going to do what they want to do on their website. No, he's being mad about it. I mean, it is irritating. I get it. You can be mad about it. But you got to look for other platforms. You got to look for other sources out there to start using. Have them grow and eventually fall apart one day too. Guys, thanks for watching. This is Cynics, and we'll see you about another video soon.